Hey there, everybody. Today we're going to go over exactly what you need to do in order to get the Phantom Spark. So let's not waste any time and let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you've spent a lot of time trying to find the rune song, you'll be pleased to know that the Phantom Spark is significantly easier to find. All of the pieces for the Phantom Spark can be found in the Sunken Sea. And even better, where the rune song had lots of locations that would spawn anywhere, the parts that you need for the Phantom Spark all spawn at set distances. Now, one thing to keep in mind,
the code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
So for example, in this seed that I've got here, all of the scenes are in large metropolises. Keep that in mind. They're always going to be in large metropolises, and you can tell the difference between a large metropolis and a small metropolis a couple of ways. One of them is going to be the size. This is the size of a normal small metropolis right here in the bottom left corner, while all three of these here are all large metropolises. You can tell there's a significant difference in the size of them. Another obvious way to tell is at the southernmost point of the large metropolises, they have a unique scene. For example, these four little Yoda statues. You will find this one at the southernmost point of this metropolis. So if you see either the Yoda statues or this sunken ship scene, then you have reached a large metropolis, guaranteed. And it'll always be at the southernmost point of that metropolis. Now, the distances for each of these large metropolises are set by the seed during the initial creation of the world. These distances are set at 550 tiles away from the core, 650 tiles away from the core, and 750 tiles away from the core. However, you will notice that in my world here, I've got these markers using the map tool at 550, 650, and 750. And two of the metropolises are at the 750 distance, while one of them is at the 550 distance. So this kind of just goes as an example that these distances that the game tries to set them at are not a guarantee, because what the spawn system does is it tries to place these scenes at the closest possible location within the set distance. In this instance, it was unable to place one of these large metropolises at the 650 tile distance, and so it placed it as close as it could, which ended up being in the 750 tile range. So if you don't find it exactly on the line, don't freak out, just explore a little bit more. The other important thing is the vault. Now, since the vault is a small scene, the odds of it actually being on the 500 tile distance are very, very high. The bigger the scene, the harder it is for the game to shove it into the exact spot. So these smaller scenes are more likely to be where you expect them to be. Now on this seed, I have found the broken core metropoli at roughly 503 and 237 coordinates for one of them. The other one is found at roughly 749, 243. And the last one is at about 757 and 21. These were all very close together, but that is not a guarantee. They could be much more spread out than they were on my map. Also, the temple scene is sitting here at about 246, 437. So hopefully that will help you if you punch this seed into the world code when you generate your world. That will make it a little bit easier for you to find these locations. At the center of every large metropolis, there is a broken core room. The broken core room looks like this. And there is always a path to the broken core room. It may not always be obvious, but there is always one there. For example, this broken core room you can get to from the southern entrance, but it is behind a big gap of tiles. So if I run all the way down here to the bottom, it's possible that if you're exploring, you might miss that there's a space here and not realize that you can come up to the north. So keep an eye out if you're not certain. But just remember that there will always be some sort of path, some sort of way to get into each in every broken core room. They all have their own unique design, though, and it's going to be different for every person, as these dungeons are built piecemeal together procedurally when the world is created. So every single one of these is going to have its own unique layout. When you get to the broken core room, there are two things that you need to pay attention to. First, you need to go to the broken core itself and open up the broken core. Now, you can do this on PC by walking up to the core and hitting E. It's basically the interact button, whatever that is on a controller or on console. Inside, you will find a single epic item. First is the anomaly report. Next, we've got the overwrite transcript. And finally, we have got the shutdown protocol. You're going to need all three of these. But that's not the only thing that you're looking for when you are here in this broken core room. You will also notice that there is a chest in every broken core room that is sparkling. That'll help you find the chest. Open the chest and you will find another unique item that you need. Here we've got the channeling gemstone. Then we've also got energy string. And in the last broken core room, this one's a little bit trickier to find because it's behind a little pillar of light. So this chest here has got the fractured limbs in it. Just keep an eye out for the sparkles. You'll find it. Once you have all 6 of these unique items, you're also going to want 3,000 ancient coins, 20 ancient gemstones, and 100 octarine bars. Then you're going to go over here to your cloaked merchant NPC. You get this guy after you defeat Gorm the Devourer. Open up his selling menu, and there's an item here called the Empty Crystal. You can see the materials needed for the Empty Crystal are the shutdown protocol, the anomaly report, and the overwrite transcript. All 3 things we just got from exploring the broken core room. This thing costs 3,000 ancient coins, so purchase that and place it in your hotbar. Then activate it the same way that you would a recall idol or Malagaz's skull, and the bar will take a moment as it channels all of the energy. Once it completes, it's going to create the admin key. Once again, this is the Shrine Island, and it is right here at 500 tiles away from the core in the sunken sea. Once you've got the admin key, come up to the door, hit E on PC or whatever the interact command is on console. Grab your admin key, place it in the slot, and the door will open. In this room, you're going to find a double chest all the way in the back. Open up this double chest, and it's full of a bunch of various loot, but what's most important is the glyph parchment. Grab the glyph parchment and put that in your inventory as well. Just like the admin key, the glyph parchment has a list of requirements. It requires the channeling gemstone, the fractured limbs, the energy string, 100 octarine bars, and 20 ancient gemstones, all of which we have got now. You'll remember that all 3 of these items are found in the exact same broken core room that you got all of your various protocols from. Do the same thing you did with the empty key. Activate it like you would the recall idol. And again, it takes a minute for everything to channel as the item is brought together. But once it does, you will gain the Phantom Spark. Now, by default, the Phantom Spark is a level 15 bow. It has 1.4 attacks per second, offers a 10% critical hit chance, a 27% critical hit damage, and a 20% chance to summon a ghost caveling when killing an enemy. Now, what these ghost cavelings do is they will attack local enemies as well as provide a healing for you as well as each other. Because these ghost cavelings only last for a certain amount of time, but you can extend them a little bit if you have multiples and they heal each other. The Phantom Spark shots are pretty strong, but you can even hold right click to charge up your bow, and depending on how much you charge it up, will give you a multi-shot with multiple different arrows. A short charge will only give you like 2 or 3 arrows, while the longer charges will give you upwards of 5 arrows. Now, since the Phantom Spark is a legendary item, it is indestructible and as such has no durability, so you never have to worry about repairing it. You also cannot reinforce it as a result. But you can level it up, and once it reaches level 19, it provides an 11% critical hit chance and a 33% critical hit damage. On top of that, the overall damage of the weapon increases. I think the most advantageous thing of the Phantom Spark are the ghost cavelings that get summoned, because the healing that they provide can be extremely useful when you're tackling large groups of creatures. There are currently, at least at the time of this recording, better ranged weapons out there if you're looking for higher damage per second or just overall more damage, as this isn't the most damage dealing weapon, but it does have a significant boost to your critical capabilities, and its secondary features really are what make this weapon shine. So if you don't want to worry about repairing your gear and you want something that is both an offensive and a defensive weapon at the same time, the Phantom Spark is an excellent choice for a ranged weapon. It's also a significantly easier legendary item to get, as the grind for it is not nearly as much of a pain in the ass as the Rune Song's grind is, considering that all of the large metropolises are at set distances, so it does make it a lot quicker and easier to gather the materials that you need. And that is it. That's all you need to get the Phantom Spark. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Like the video if you haven't already, and I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay crazy, everybody.